All right, today I'm going to talk to you about The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton. So, if you don't know, G.K. Chesterton was at the end of his life, a Catholic author who spent most of his life defending the Catholic Church long before he ever became a Catholic. He actually, very interesting life from many views, but particularly his religious perspective. He was kind of nominally Christian as a kid. He was baptized, but I don't think, if I remember right, he never went to church. Explored Eastern religions and transcendental meditation and occultism, explored everything, and then eventually found his way to the Anglican Church. And then after that, finally ending in the Catholic Church. So, wrote a lot of great stories, including the Father Brown Mysteries, several novels, but he's best known for his at the time of during his life, he was best known for his articles in the newspaper, his editorials. And he was a deep thinker who thought about everything and could take several things that you didn't even think were all connected, think deeply about them, and then tie them all up together at the end of just 2 pages of an essay. So if you want to, besides The Man Who Was Thursday, check out Chesterton. Just so you know, that's what you will encounter. The Man Who Was Thursday is probably his best known novel, and I would say it's his most exciting. The plot of the story, the beginning of it, starts off with a young man named Gabriel Syme, who, is it Gabriel or Gregory? I believe his last name is Syme. And he is a poet who gets recruited as a police officer to go undercover to infiltrate an anarchist group. Now, some side history notes that you should know is that when the book was written, the anarchist movement was alive and well, literally bomb-chucking anarchist groups, where there were actual murders and anarchy and bombings of buildings that were designed oftentimes just to create chaos because of the kind of vague idea of anarchy and anti-establishment and anti-government everything. And there were some very famous popular thinkers of the time who promoted anarchy. And Chesterton, who is almost always counterculture, spent most of his life opposing that idea and saying, no, actually structure and order can be great and can be very liberating. Because, as he said, you have to like an artist, you have to draw the line somewhere. And so he wrote this story about anarchy. And so the surface story is a man who infiltrates an anarchist group. But by about halfway through the book, you realize there is something much deeper than a spy novel going on here, to the point of where by the end of the book, I'm just going to say it goes where you don't at all expect it to go and becomes this great supernatural story. And I can't even explain it, and I can't because I don't want to ruin it, but I would recommend you get an annotated version that explains the ending, because most people read the book on their own, and if they read it on their own, they're going to be confused by the ending. So do get an annotated version that'll kind of give you notes. So the Ignatius Press actually has a great annotated version that I would recommend. And by the way, the title, the reason why it's called The Man Who Was Thursday, is the Supreme Council of the Anarchy Group are 7 people at the table, all of whom have a code name for a day of the week. And the leader of the group is a man named Sunday. And, mainly because I knew that Orson Welles had done a radio drama of the show back in the 30s. Actually, I think it was the 40s. And only because of that, I find it quite satisfying to, when I read it, to picture Sunday as Orson Welles, but kind of that middle-aged Orson Welles, where he's large, not too slovenly, but very imposing, and has that great Orson Welles demeanor and and voice. If you've seen Citizen Kane or Touch of Evil, which are great Orson Welles movies, somewhere between that kind of era of Orson Welles, and it's a great book to present to you Chesterton, but also to really make you think about nature. And that's all I can say, is that it's about nature and the order and the disorder, or the seeming disorder in nature that may actually turn out to be order. And that's all I can say. But I do highly recommend this book. There is absolutely nothing that should give you pause morally or socially. The language is high school level. It's not a book for junior high or younger, not because of the content, but just because of the complexity of the language and the complexity of the plot, and particularly the complexity of the last 30 or 40 pages. They will, like most adults, read it, and it's like reading the book of Revelation, where you're going to need something that's going to help you out. However, in the end, as I've said before, do recommend the book, and I hope you check it out. All right, enjoy.